Hi guys, it's not very often that you have two different car tools integrated into one to address two common problems that can leave any driver stranded. This is my review of the LOKITHOR 2-in-1 jump starter and air inflator. It also features some extra bits beyond jump starting and inflating tires, which makes it a 4-in-1 tool really. Now let's get this. For full disclosure, I did receive this as a free sample from LOKITHOR. For the rest of the video, I'm just going to pretend that the name of this tool doesn't have anything to do with Loki and Thor. Now that that's out of the way, let's unbox. First of all, you have this cloth carry bag for the device. Not sure of its utility, but more on this later. Next is the tool itself, which we'll come back to in a bit. Then to this black box, which houses the accessories. And finally, the product manual, which is written in English, German, and Chinese. Opening up the accessories box, and we find a black drawstring bag which houses the following: USB Type-C cable for charging the device, jump starting clamp and cables. The cables look really beefy and feel like they can definitely take the peak current draw of 1500 amps, which the device is able to supply during starting a car. As expected, you have the tire inflation hose which measures about 2 feet, and lastly a set of Schrader valve adapters for use with other inflatables. Turning over to the tool itself, in front you have 16 LEDs which provide really bright light for those nighttime tasks. You definitely have more than you need to inflate or change a tire at night. On top you have the button for the light. I should also say that the light features an SOS and strobe mode. I haven't demonstrated this feature since someone may be watching who may have photosensitive seizures. On the left side you have the port for the jumper cables, which is covered by a silicone cap. You also have the power button and another button to toggle between PSI and bars as the unit of pressure. This side also features the display panel and buttons for pumping the tire or presetting tire pressure. To the extreme left, you have the second silicone cover which houses the Type-C USB port for charging the device, as well as a USB Type-A port which supports quick charge for mobile phones and other devices. At the rear, you have the air inflator output port, and on the right side you have vents for the device. Underneath you have the specs listed. I won't go into all the specs, but it's important to note that this is the JA300 model which supports a max current of 1500 amps for starting gasoline vehicles with engine displacement of up to 7 liters, and for diesel vehicles up to 4.5 liters of engine displacement. Also important is that the tool only supports vehicles built on 12 volts. Max tire inflation pressure is 150 psi. And other important specs which are not listed here include the fact that it has a 24-month standby period from full charge. It also features a battery management system which supports short circuits, overcurrent, overheat, and reverse polarity protection. To demonstrate jump starting, I visited a nearby shop which recycles batteries. I finally settled for this wet cell battery which had seen better days. Hooking up my trusted Longvorm multimeter, and just as expected, the battery read 8.6 volts. To put this in context, a 12-volt battery with 11.9 volts is depleted. At 8.6 volts, this is one of the deadest batteries I've come across, although the medal still belongs to this Napa Legend battery which had a voltage of 0.36 volts. Next, my 2003 Accord reluctantly volunteered to be the test vehicle, and I took out its battery and replaced it with the dead battery. Out of curiosity, I turned on the ignition and the lights on the dash won't even light up, except for this faint brake light. Next, I connect the jump start cable to the tool and attach the red and black leads to the positive and negative battery terminals respectively. Turning on the device and it boosts the battery voltage to 12.1 volts. I slot in the key and turn on the ignition. The dashboard lights up as usual, and the car starts. I take off the clamps and move over to tire inflation. I decided to fully deflate this 205/65 15-inch tire in order to see how long it will take LOKITHOR to inflate the tire to the recommended pressure of 30 psi. I hook up the inflator hose, turn on the tool, and preset the pressure to 30 psi. Note that if you don't preset the tire pressure, you'll be shooting for the max inflation pressure of 150 psi if you don't turn off the device manually. Then I connect the inflator hose to the valve stem and lock it in place. I long press the pump button and it turns on the device. Let's see how long it takes. and we get to 30 psi in 5 minutes 34 seconds. I also used the tool to top off the 4 tires of a different car, and afterwards the battery bars was down by 1. While I haven't tested some of the other claims of this tool, like how many times it can jumpstart a car on one charge or the really long standby time of 24 months from full charge, I really feel this is a solid device. It looks and feels premium, quite sturdy and well built. Also, the fact that it's cordless is a really big plus. No more dragging around wires and depending on your cigarette lighter port. To be honest, I really struggle to find what to criticize on this tool, also considering the fact that the product is warranted for 2 years. In the end, I'll say the only thing I'll gripe about is this cloth carry bag for the tool. Not sure how appropriate it is, but I guess it's better than having nothing. I'll probably use mine as just a dust cover. That said, LOKITHOR does have a premium case which you can buy with the tool. Just in case you're considering this tool, I'll leave links in the description and in the comments. Hope this has been helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe if it has, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.